want to know my opinion on the most effective, the best skincare routine for morning and evening, just keep on watching. I often receive comments where some say they just don't even want to do skincare because it's just too many steps, too confusing, and so they would rather just not deal with it. Or some people say, oh my gosh, with all the influencers that they're watching on social media, they're getting so overwhelmed and confused with the hundreds of different products. I want to make this the easiest video for you today. I also have the most affordable options for you if you are really trying to crunch numbers and stay in a really good budget. So everything that we see on social media where we see people using 20, 30, 40, 50 skincare steps, that's just, it's ridiculous. We don't need to be doing that. And also, we don't need to be watching influencers like myself on social media, because the best way for you to find out what skincare is best for you is to go to your dermatologist or whatever doctor you choose and have them help you create a skincare routine that's best for your skin. This is the easiest skincare routine ever, but I know there are many of you who are like, I don't just want a boring basic 2-3 step skincare routine. I want something that's so much more advanced because perhaps you're dealing with dark spots, or perhaps you're dealing with more wrinkles than you would like, or super dry, dehydrated skin. At the end of this video, I'm gonna share with you some extra options that you could add into this routine. But first, I think it's best if we have the basic skincare routine down. For example, if you're, I don't know, making brownies or whatever, you're gonna use pretty much the same basic routine for every single brownie recipe, which that's gonna be our skincare recipe or our skincare routine. But perhaps you wanna add some walnuts, or perhaps you want them a little bit chewier, or perhaps you want them a little sweeter. You're gonna tweak it and add extra little things that are going to make your brownies the best for you. So that's pretty much what we're gonna do with our skincare. So this is the morning routine. Step one, I always cleanse my face first thing in the morning. Now, you may not have to use an actual cleanser. That's why I suggest you talk to your dermatologist. Some people, if your skin is super duper sensitive or dry, or perhaps you have other skin issues, some people, they just do better with just splashing their face with some water and calling it a day. But for me, since I pile on skincare at night and, you know, whatever, my hair might be touching my face at night while I'm sleeping, I like to make sure I cleanse my face properly with a gentle cleanser, not something crazy and stripping. But this is a cleanser that I'm going to use this morning. I just bought this a few days ago actually, and I've been testing it every single day, and so far I really like it. This is the new Cetaphil Nourishing Oil to Foam Cleanser. It says it's for normal to dry skin. This is super duper inexpensive. For me, I actually do not spend a ton of money on cleansers or moisturizers. I will spend more on, you know, a type of serum or treatment product. So if you're trying to cut back costs, why are you spending $60, $70, $80 on a cleanser? Because it's on your face for a few seconds and then you're rinsing it off. So for me, someone who I would consider myself not an expert, obviously I'm not a doctor, but I'm 53 years old, and I think I pretty much know what works best for my skin, and I test a ton of products, and for me, it doesn't matter if it's $50 cleanser or a $9 cleanser. I'm gonna go with the $9 cleanser so I can save money to be able to purchase something else that I might really want in my routine. So this says it's an oil to foam cleanser, but it doesn't feel oily at all. It feels like a regular, kind of thick, actually it feels very luxurious gel cleanser, but it has a lot of slip to it, so I guess that's the flaxseed oil. Is it flaxseed? Yeah, it's flaxseed oil that's in it. But this is not a type of oil cleanser, you know, like an olive oil or whatever, that you would feel like would leave a residue on your face. It completely rinses clean the way a normal gel cleanser would. But surprisingly, it does leave my face super, super soft. And if you have super duper dry skin, this is the other option I will go with. Or maybe my face is a little irritated. Maybe I exfoliated a little too much. This one by 𝑽𝑰𝑫𝑬𝑺, this is their extremely gentle cleanser. This just feels like a lotion, but it actually effectively cleans off any, you know, whatever's left over on my face in the morning. It is so, so gentle. So perhaps you just had a peel, or maybe you just have really sensitive skin. You might want to look into a type of cleanser like this as well. All right, so now my face is clean. I just patted it dry. I didn't rub, I patted it dry with a clean towel. Step two, For my second step, I like to always use some type of a treatment serum, antioxidant, vitamin C, whatever is in your budget. For me, this is my all-time favorite vitamin C serum. I've been raving about this now for, I don't know, a couple years. This is by the brand Medic 8. This is their Super C Ferulic serum. This is just a beautiful, clear, very silky vitamin C serum. Now, if you are super sensitive to the L-ascorbic, the pure form of vitamin C like I am, this does not have it in there. But if you're my age, 53, and you still want a powerhouse type of vitamin C product that is super high strength, but there's no irritation, then you might want to look into this one. That is why I love this one so much. So I hear so many people often say, oh, I can't use vitamin C serum because it irritates my skin. Now, I don't have sensitive skin as far as where it causes redness or burning or irritation. What L-ascorbic acid does for me, it makes me have pimples. It makes me break out still at 53 years old. So that is why I typically do not like L-ascorbic acid. Now, let me rephrase that. I actually love L-ascorbic acid because it's the pure strength of vitamin C, but I can only use it in like strength 10% or 15%, and then I'm good to go. But anytime I go over 15%, like how many serums are 20% L-ascorbic, I just, within a few days, I just start to break out. My skin does not like it. Now, there are tons of antioxidant serums. There are tons of vitamin C serums on the market. So again, choose whatever one works best for you and in your budget. But for me, since this one is so high strength and super potent, and this also, if you deal with dark spots or hyperpigmentation, this one I feel like works a lot better on dark spots than any other vitamin C serum, and even better than L-ascorbic acid serums that I've used. That's why I continue to repurchase this one over and over and over and over. If this is not in your budget, I wanted to share an alternative. This one is the new one. I just picked this up a few days ago, so I can't tell you if it's great or not, but the ingredients looked wonderful. This is the one from Neutrogena. This is their new Collagen Bank 15% vitamin C serum. I am going to eventually start testing this one because this is the pure form of vitamin C, L-ascorbic, but it's only 15%. And usually I'm fine, like I said, with 10 or 15%. But this one, the ingredients look really promising because it also has an acid in it, gluconolactone, which is kind of like a gentle form of an acid for the skin. Anytime I can use a product, an L-ascorbic acid that also has like lactic or gluconolactone in it, I really enjoy that, and I feel like the results are a little bit better than just using a basic L-ascorbic acid serum. It also has a peptide in it that it says it helps reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, improves skin elasticity, and will promote a more youthful appearance. And that peptide is not like the last ingredient. It's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the 5th ingredient. For me, this is what I'm going to use today. I always do about, I don't know, I'd say 6 drops. You can put it, you can put it in your hand, but I just like to put it right on my face without touching the dropper to my face. So I do 2 on each side there, 2 here. So about 6 drops is really all you need. And then I rub it in very, very gently. My forehead is still, it's actually very sore from the Botox the other day. I talk about it all the time. I get Botox for my migraines, and I found a new neurologist who does them for me, and she does a great job. But I'll tell you the story later about what happened with somebody reconstituting the Botox incorrectly. And oh my gosh, it was the worst pain ever. And in 20 years of getting migraine Botox, I'd never experienced it. But by the way, I've never had Botox here, and nowhere else on my face other than here, the backs of my head, down my neck, in my shoulders, and that's what they do for Botox migraines. I'll pop up a picture on the screen so you can see where the neurologist will actually do the injections. And since it's Botox, that's why I don't have a whole lot of wrinkles in my forehead. I still have, you know, tons of movement, but I've been getting it for so many years to treat my migraines, so that's why I don't really have wrinkles here. Never had fillers. These are my own puffy cheeks. I've had them ever since I was born, and I get that comment constantly, people assuming I'm pumped full of filler because I have such big cheeks, but that's just what I look like. I can't fix that. And if I did have filler, I probably have the worst injector, because why would I still have these deep hollows under my eyes and then just fill my cheeks? Makes no sense, but never had filler, never had lasers, never had plastic surgery, nothing like that. The only surgery I've ever had is here on my neck. That's why I was medically separated from the military after 11 years active duty. They did a C5, C6 discectomy and fusion. That's the only surgery I've ever had. All right, now we're gonna move on to step 3 to make this super easy, but in the end, I'm gonna show you something that I normally would do before I do step 3. But if you are just looking for the most basic recipe, the most basic skincare routine for our 3rd step in the morning, we're just gonna use a moisturizer. You don't have to spend a lot of money on a moisturizer. If you have big pockets and you want to, go for it. Use whatever works best for you. But for me, I've tried $100 moisturizers before, and this is the one I always go back to. This is super inexpensive. It's by Vanicream. A ton of dermatologists recommend this. It's fragrance-free. It's got amazing ingredients in it, and it's super affordable. Now, since we're doing a super fast and easy morning skincare routine with just the basic ingredients, we're not gonna use a separate eye cream, we're not gonna use a separate neck cream, we're not gonna use anything additional because this moisturizer is also going to double, triple as our eye cream and as our neck cream. Because remember, this is just the basic recipe. But if you wanna know my favorite eye cream or my favorite neck cream, that's gonna be in the very, very end of this video. So that was it, just 3 skincare steps so far. And then we're gonna do the 4th and final skincare step. This is our sunscreen. If you say you don't like sunscreen, then just turn this video off because don't go waste your money on a vitamin C serum. Don't go waste your money on an eye cream. Nothing if you're not using a daily sunscreen. If you're concerned about loss of collagen, did you know that sunscreen is what can help you to prevent the loss of collagen and help with building back that collagen? If you use a vitamin C serum, but you don't put anything over it to protect your skin, you're wasting so much money on this vitamin C serum. So many people say, I keep trying all these high-end products and nothing's working for my skin. And then I ask them, well, what sunscreen are you using? And they say, I don't like sunscreen because it has chemicals in it. Well, then I don't know what to tell you. You might want to stop drinking water also because water is also a chemical. Maybe they're saying they prefer a mineral sunscreen over a chemical. Then use an all mineral sunscreen with like a non-nano zinc. Use whatever sunscreen works best for your skin. You might have to try a few different ones before you find one that you like on your face or underneath your makeup. For me, I have raved about this product now ever since it came out. I was actually one of the first YouTubers to ever share this product. I think Dr. Dre was the first one, and then oh, this one's empty. I have 2 more backups. But I've been sharing this product forever. Let me see if I can zoom in so you can see what this looks like. I probably should go close those blinds because it seems like it's quite bright in here. But do you see how beautiful this is? This is super moisturizing. You wouldn't even know that this is a sunscreen. That's why I love it so much, because sunscreens aren't like the sunscreens that we grew up with. Not like I wore sunscreen growing up, I should have. But this is a very elegant formula. And a bonus, if you are like, I don't want 4 steps, that's too many, and you just want 3 steps, you can skip your moisturizer if you don't have ridiculously dry, dehydrated skin. And this is a moisturizer and a sunscreen all in one. Or if you're like, I don't have time for even 3 steps, and you just want a 1-step skincare routine after you've splashed your face with water or cleansed it or whatever you choose to do, and you say, I don't even want to spend money on a vitamin C serum or an antioxidant serum. Guess what? This one also has antioxidants in it. So on those days where I'm being like really lazy, I'm not gonna reach for any other skincare products. I'm just gonna splash my face with water, and I will always put this on because this has my serum, my moisturizer, my sunscreen, all in one. And also, if you're like my mom, she does not like to wear a heavy foundation or something that, you know, really covers up her beautiful skin. This is what she uses for her foundation also. Not only is this her moisturizer, it's her sunscreen, it's also her foundation. So to me, this is the fountain of youth in a bottle. It pretty much does everything, and it's perfect for lazy girls, or if we're in a hurry, or if we're on a budget and we only can afford one thing, this would be the product that I would get. And this is actually very affordable. I do have a discount code for this. This isn't sponsored or anything like that. I've never done a sponsored video. I never will. But I do use affiliate links. And if you don't want to use my affiliate links, you don't have to. If you do, I appreciate it. But just Google products you're interested in. You're not gonna offend me if you never use any of my affiliate links. So you're probably wondering, why did you put so much on? Why are you sitting here rubbing this in forever? Well, that's because when you use sunscreen, you want to use the proper amount. Otherwise, we're not gonna get the right amount of protection. So for me, I use, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 pumps of this, and then I do bring it down my neck and a little on my chest. This does have that nice light tint to it. They do have a non-tinted if you don't want anything with a tint. Sometimes I'll just do it in layers. I'll do 1 or 2 pumps, put that on, go have a cup of coffee, or I don't know, do whatever, put my clothes on, and then I'll come back, put a couple more pumps, sometimes doing it in layers, whatever makes it easy for you to use the proper amount. If you don't want to measure and do the whole calculations of what they say that we're supposed to use for our face, most dermatologists say just squirt your sunscreen on your finger and do 2 finger lengths of sunscreen. So actually I'll just waste it and show you how much 2 finger lengths of this would be. 3, 4, 5. This is, it feels like it's almost empty. So this right here is, I'd say, about 10 pumps. And this is what I pretty much will use every single day on my face, and I bring it down my neck. I mean, with all of the skincare products that I use, the 4 products that I use today, do you see what a difference just using this product on my skin? How glowy it looks more bouncy, it just looks more youthful and healthy. Once this completely dries down, I will still have this beautiful glow, but it's not gonna be greasy or anything like that. This wears beautifully under makeup. You don't even have to use a separate makeup primer because this doubles as a perfect makeup primer. So if you take away anything from this video, skip every other product I'm sharing. Don't get confused with skincare routines and watching a ton of different creators. Just find your favorite sunscreen and use that every single day. And that is one thing I know for a fact. If you go and ask your dermatologist if I'm full of phony baloney or if I'm telling the truth, they're gonna say she's telling the truth. And that's the only thing that they would recommend that you use versus any other serum, lotion, and potion. It's a daily sunscreen and reapplying. And if you're like, how would I reapply this if I have makeup on? I have other videos. I will pop them up here and link some down below. If you want to see the easiest way to reapply your sunscreen over top of your makeup and still look beautiful and polished and put together. Sunscreen, this is your best friend. This is gonna make magic happen in your skin. This is gonna make you feel like you look 10 years younger than you really are. If you just start using sunscreen. I don't care if you're 50, 60, 70 years old, it's never too late. Start using a sunscreen every day, reapplying, get back to me, and I'd say just 3 months, and I guarantee you, you are going to be blown away at the results in your skin. All right, and now we're done with our skincare for the morning, and now I'm gonna show you my evening skincare routine. But first, I need something on my lips, so I'm just gonna put my City Lips. Now let's do our nighttime skincare routine. Now normally I would have ended this video and then the nighttime routine would be a separate video just to make it not so ridiculously long. But I figured let's just make this video as long as it needs to be so that we can put everything all in one video. You know, maybe you don't feel like watching what I'm doing and you're just cleaning the kitchen or getting ready. Just turn it on kind of like, I guess, a podcast and listen to what I'm saying, because this video is going to be longer. It's going to have every single thing in it that hopefully you could possibly ask if you are confused about skincare or if you're curious about some of my absolute favorites. All right, so assuming it's the end of the day, either we left our face looking gorgeous and glowy like this all day, or perhaps we put on makeup. Regardless, we always need to cleanse our face at night. If you're tired and you binge Netflix and you're like, well, I'm too tired, I'm just gonna go to sleep, then again, turn this video off, because we just can't go there if you're not cleansing your face at night. I'm just kidding. I know some people, perhaps you have like the craziest busy schedule, maybe you have a bunch of kids, whatever, maybe there's just no way you can do it. Do whatever works best for you. But for me, I think in my whole life, I'm 53 years old, I've only gone maybe one time ever in my life, and that's when I was probably 18, where I went to sleep and did not wash my face at night. And the reason why is, you know how many germs and gunk and just this layer of sunscreen or makeup or just the dirt and all of the elements that we're exposed to all day long, that's just, those little things are crawling around on our face and just clogging our pores or making our face look dull, dehydrated. So washing our face at night is so important. Now, splashing our face with water at night, that's not an option, especially if you wear sunscreen and especially if you wear makeup. In the morning, no biggie, because at night our face doesn't get super dirty, but during the day we're exposed to so many elements, you know, when we're out and about. So washing our face at night is the proper way, because how are products going to even absorb into our skin or work the way they're supposed to if we have this barrier, this layer of product on our skin? Why even use serums or lotions and potions in the evening if you're not washing your face? In the evening, wash your face. Now, you don't have to scrub it or use any special tools, no Clarisonic, no scrubby devices. Just use your hands, that's what I use. But I always do a double cleanse in the evening. Now, you don't have to use 2 separate products to do the double cleanse. If you just want to use your favorite face cleanser 2 times, you should be good to go. But for me, holy grail, I've talked about this for ever since I've had a YouTube channel. This has been my absolute favorite for 10, 15 years. This is an oil cleanser by the brand DHC. This is their deep cleansing oil. There's no fancy bells and whistles in this. There's no luxurious scent. There's just nothing fancy about this other than the fact that this stuff works. This is the holy grail cleansing oil of all cleansing oils. And if you know, you just know. This is the absolute best. This also has ingredients in it that when you apply it, it applies like a beautiful oil, but once you emulsify it, add some water to it, and then emulsify it into your skin, it starts to get white and milky. And then when you rinse it, it will rinse completely clean. Now, since I said I do 2 cleanses, I also always follow up with a regular face cleanser after using an oil cleanser. But if you're on a budget, you do not have to. You don't have to go and buy this and then buy this. Just whatever cleanser you already have at home, just use it 2 times. Not everyone has to do a double cleanse, but for me, since I do wear a lot of sunscreen, I reapply it throughout the day. I usually wear makeup. I feel like my skin doesn't get properly cleansed, gently cleansed, without doing 2 cleanses. So do what works best for your beautiful face. But for me, I use this first, and then I just go in and cleanse my face with this right afterwards. All right, so assuming our face is completely clean, we now have a clean canvas. So whatever else we apply on it now will be able to penetrate and work its magic on our skin. We don't need to use a bunch of different serums, lotions, and potions. Again, go to the very end of this video if you want to see other products that I would incorporate based on different skin conditions. But since this is the easiest routine ever, now we're gonna use one of my favorite products that I love to use every single evening, and that is a vitamin A or a retinoid product. This is the prescription strength, which I do not put on my face anymore. I like to use it on like my knees or my elbows. But I used to use this for probably 20 years, the higher strength, even higher than this. I used to use it on my face for like 20 years, and I constantly had irritation. I would go 3-4 days, everything was great, and then boom, all of a sudden, flaky, peely, redness. I got tired of that. So for the past, I'd say 3 years, I have been using this. To me, this is the best, the most potent retinoid that you can use on your face without having irritation from the prescription strength. This is by the brand Medik8. This is their crystal retinol. Now they have multiple different strengths, and if you noticed, I said retinol. I have another very detailed video on why this one is even more potent than retinol. Now, I do use the absolute highest strength. This is the highest strength that you can even find on the market. This is their strength 24. There are some other ones that are a little lower strength on the market, and they're a lot more budget friendly. But for me, I have a discount code for this. Again, not sponsored. You don't have to click my link, none of that. If you wanna just Google it, purchase it on your own. And I didn't just start out with the highest strength. Even though I was using the highest strength and prescription strength tretinoin, I did start with their strength 6. Then I used a tube or so, and then I bumped up to strength 10. Then I bumped up to strength 20, and then of course now I use 24. And I can use this every single night without any irritation whatsoever. So many people say they use prescription strength tretinoin, even in a lower strength than this, and they're like, oh, I use it 2-3 times a week. Well, I'm able to use mine every single night, and I get the same, actually I feel like I get better results using this because I never have that irritating downtime where my skin starts flaking around my mouth or the redness. Now, If you've never had an issue with this and you can use it nightly, that's awesome. Keep using it. Again, use what's in your budget. But my point is to use some type of a vitamin A type product. In my opinion, out of every single product I have tried, this is the best nightly serum for anti-aging to help smooth out those fine lines and wrinkles, prevent new fine lines and wrinkles. And this just gives my skin this beautiful firmness to it at 53 years old. I've never had any work done to my face. Now, granted, I am showing signs of aging, but I feel like I'm aging a lot more gracefully using something like this. And of course, from also using daily sunscreen, but using a vitamin A, a retinol like this in the evening, this really honestly has been mind-blowing, seeing the transformation in my skin over the past year of how firm my skin is starting to get more and more and more as I continue to use this. But I want to share more budget-friendly options. This is one from The Ordinary. Now, just totally being honest, I didn't love this. I didn't really notice any major changes, but it is it feels beautiful on the skin. This strength is not as high as this. Again, there's nothing on the market this strong and this gentle, but if you are looking for something more budget friendly and maybe you're just kind of starting out using a vitamin A type product in the evening, this one from The Ordinary is a great choice. There's plenty of other different ones on the market as well. There's even some really low strength retinol products on the market, which they're okay. If you're a super beginner, you might enjoy that. Or say you can't tolerate any vitamin A products, you might want to use something with an ingredient called bakuchiol, and I will try to link a couple other super gentle products like that on the market. But even using this ridiculously high strength from Medic 8, their crystal retinol, I've never had peeling, I've never had redness, I've never had irritation. I'm able to bring this all the way down my neck. It is just, to me, it is the best nightly vitamin A product ever. And then finally, our last step in the evening is to use a moisturizer. Again, use whatever moisturizer works best for you. This one is my favorite, affordable moisturizer that has everything in it that I look for. And then we're done with our evening routine. It is that simple. So if you just want to screenshot this, I will pop up on the screen here our morning routine steps, our evening routine steps. I mean, can it get any easier than that? If you incorporate what's best for your budget in these steps, in 3 months, I guarantee you're gonna look in the mirror and you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, my skin is changing. My skin is looking better. Those fine lines and wrinkles, they are starting to look smoother. I feel like my skin's looking firmer. You're gonna be blown away at the results. But we have to, the reason I say 3 months is because our skin's not gonna change in a week. I mean, we might see some plumpness immediately from using certain products, but I'm talking real changes in our skin. Give it a good 3, maybe 4 months, and you are going to see remarkable changes. Our face didn't start aging like this overnight, so we can't expect overnight results. However, I do have one product that I'm about to share that will give you instant results, and you are going to look in the mirror and be absolutely mind blown. If you just wanted the basics, the easiest recipe skincare routine for morning and evening, you can just turn this video off. But if you want something a little more advanced and you're dealing with possibly crepey under eyes, or maybe you feel like your jowls are starting to sag a little more, maybe you feel like your fine lines and wrinkles are getting a little bit deeper, and you're already using a basic skincare routine and you want to know how to have a more advanced skincare routine, not a necessary skincare routine, but an advanced routine, and how to layer certain products. Perhaps you bought 3 or 4 more products. I wouldn't advise using all of those new products at once, but perhaps you do have a few different products in your skincare stash because you do keep watching YouTube videos and you buy stuff and you're like, I don't even know how to layer those products. I'm gonna make it so easy for you so that no matter what YouTube video you watch, you will know now how to layer whatever those products are. You'll know how to layer them in your basic recipe. Again, it's like making your basic brownie recipe, and now you know what extra products you can add in to make them the best brownies for you. And that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make this the best skincare routine for your skin. And again, full disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, not a dermatologist. Ask your dermatologist what's best for your beautiful face first before you try anything that I recommend or anything that you see on social media. All right, I had to swap out my robe really quickly. The other one was just too hot and I'm too lazy to get dressed. Anyone else the same way where you just like to hang out in your house in pajamas or your robe? All right, if you deal with dull skin, maybe you see more fine lines and wrinkles, maybe you have large pores, and maybe you just are like, how do people get that beautiful glow on their skin? Because my skin just always looks dry, dehydrated, and dull. I'm gonna share with you my all-time favorite holy grail serum. If I could only choose one serum for the rest of my life, of course, this would never take place over a sunscreen, but if I could only have one treatment product on my skin for the rest of my life, this is the world's best product ever. This is by the brand Dermatologist. This is their Self-Esteem Beauty Sleep Serum. And I love the name of this because this will boost your self-esteem. This is basically beauty sleep in a bottle. You will wake up after using this one time, look in the mirror, and you're gonna be blown away at what you see on your skin. Also, this product is not gonna break the bank. That's another reason I love it so much. This has a small amount of an acid in it that will basically kind of eat off any of that dead skin that's just sitting on the surface that your cleanser can't get off, your vitamin C serum, none of those other products can remove. If we try to scrub our face, we're just probably gonna cause some irritation. But this has an ingredient in it that chemically will take off any of those dead, flaky skin cells that are just kind of glued together, sitting on the surface of our skin, making our skin look dry, dull, wrinkly. And it does it in a very gentle way, but also in one time using it. This also has another type of acid that won't only go on the outside and eat off those dead flakies, but it will go deep down inside the pore. So if you have anything just making your pores look a little more stretched out that need to be cleared out, this basically chemically kind of scoops out what's ever inside the pore, and then in turn your pores are going to look tight, like that glass skin look. And then it also has a little bit of vitamin C in it, a very small amount. Combination, the way this is formulated, I would not be able to use 3 separate products or 4 separate products and be a mad scientist in my bathroom and get the same results that I get in this one little bottle. All I ever need to use is maybe 3, 4, 5 drops, put this on my skin, and for me, I don't need to go to sleep and wake up to see the results. Within 15 minutes of using this product, when I first used it, I walked by, I looked in the mirror, and I'm like, oh my goodness, my skin, it looks so tight, so glowy. It looked like I had just finished a 20-step skincare routine or just came from the spa. So let's talk about how to use this in our skincare routine. So remember, we have our basic skincare routine that we've already covered. This is an exfoliator. It exfoliates on the surface and it exfoliates down inside the skin. And like I said, it's gonna make our pores look super tight. We're gonna have that super glowy, really pretty skin after using something like this. But we're not gonna use this every single day because it is an exfoliator. Now, if your skin is really thick and tough and you can handle an exfoliator every single day, go for it. But for me, I use this, I'd say maybe 3 to 4 times a week. Some people might only be able to use it once a week. Some people might only be able to use it once every 2 weeks. So you have to know your own skin. You know, when you test something on it, if you have a lot of burning, irritation, redness, that means your skin barrier is probably compromised. So you don't want to use products that are going to burn, irritate, and sting your skin. For me, this never burns or irritates my skin. But where would you put this in your routine? Well, they recommend using this in the evening because of course it's an acid and then your skin's going to be more sensitive to the sun, especially, you know, if you're not using sunscreen or if you're going to the beach. I use it during the day because I pile on my sunscreen, and I would never use this and then go lay out at the pool or something like that afterwards. We kind of have to use common sense, but they do recommend to use it in the evening. So fit it in your routine however it works best for you. So for me, if I use it in the morning, I will cleanse my face, then I will put this on my face, and then I will follow with my vitamin C, my moisturizer, or sunscreen. Or I could just cleanse my face, put this on, put on my moisturizer and sunscreen, and call it a day. If I use it in the evening, same thing. I would just add it into my skincare routine right after I cleanse my face. I don't recommend using your tretinoin or vitamin A type product after this unless you have super advanced skin, because you're probably gonna have a lot of peeling, but you could, but that's a different video. But if I'm gonna use this in the evening, I will just cleanse my face. apply this, and then put on a good moisturizer, and that's it. When people say, how do you always have such a beautiful glow to your skin? It's because of this product right here. All right, now if you say, you know, that basic morning or evening skincare routine just isn't enough for my skin still feels like a raisin, I look like a prune. Well, you might need to add some hydration to your skin. If we feel dehydrated, we're not going to drink olive oil, we're gonna quench our thirst with some water. So same thing for our skin, we want to add some type of a watery serum or hydrator or essence or toner, something that's going to help add that water, that hydration, to help plump up our skin so that when we do that next step and put on our moisturizer, it kind of locks in all of that plumpness. So now we will look like a nice big juicy grape versus a dried out prune. So if you say the basic recipe of skincare, those easy steps is not enough, add in some type of a hydrating product. These are just 3 products. I have many more that I love. I'll share the most affordable first that I think works wonders. This is the Ordinary's alpha-arbutin hyaluronic acid serum. It is a hydrator, but it also has the alpha-arbutin in it, which can help if you have melasma, hyperpigmentation, dark spots. Now, I've said it before, this is one of my absolute favorite products ever, but if you have melasma, just using this one product alone is not going to get rid of your melasma. But if you have melasma, oftentimes you want to layer different types of ingredients, and alpha-arbutin is one ingredient that can really help with melasma hyperpigmentation. But this is just super hydrating. This is a very nice, it's a little bit thicker than water, but when I put this on my skin, and I put it on damp skin, you don't want to use a hyaluronic acid type product on dry bone skin, because then it will suck more moisture, more water out of your skin. So always layer this when your skin is already damp. It's like dipping a dried up sponge in water, and it instantly will just bloop, plump up my skin. I would add this after I use whatever serum, after vitamin C or after my Dermalect, and on damp skin, and then I put my moisturizer on over top to pretty much seal it all in. So that's where you could add in a hydrator in your routine. Or if you're not using your vitamin C or not using something like this, you could add in a hydrating essence or a hydrating toner that doesn't have drying alcohol, and that can also help your other ingredients to penetrate even better. So perhaps you want to use your hydrator first and then use your treatment serums. You could do that as well. For me, the more you layer, whatever you're layering towards the end is not really going to work its magic as much if you have all those other products there that it's trying to compete against. So for me, I like to always use my vitamin C first, or I like to use this first. I want these super potent products to work their magic on skin that doesn't have layers of other products there first. But either way you could. You're not going to see results if, say, you put your moisturizer on and then put this on, because now it's just trying to compete to get through the moisturizer. So if you have a type of hydrating serum, use it either after you cleanse your face or before or after one of your treatment serums. Now again, there's many different types of hydrating products on the market. You could use an essence, toner. I like this product as well. This is from the brand Dermalect. If you have a compromised skin barrier and you want something a little bit more advanced than this, even though I think this is a fantastic product, this is their Rapid Repair Barrier Balancing Serum. This has a bunch of beautiful ingredients in it that will really help repair that skin barrier, but it's also super hydrating, and this is a great product to use before you put on your moisturizer, especially if you're dealing with a compromised skin barrier. You really need to add that extra hydration and moisture. And if you have the most sensitive skin, or if you just like to keep it super simple, just use a thermal spring water. This one is by the brand 𝑽𝑰𝑫𝑬𝑺. I've probably bought hundreds of cans of this. I usually buy the small travel size. This isn't just water. This is like a magical healing water. In fact, I read some things on their website how this was developed, how they used it on, I think, a horse or something like that that had some skin issues, and they realized that the thermal spring water was healing the skin. This is very healing. It's sterile. If you have the most sensitive skin, say for example, if you use prescription strength tretinoin and you're just battling that red, flaky, peeling irritation, I always had a small can of this with me, always, because I was tired of burning and irritating around, you know, my mouth, around my nose, and this just calms it down and heals it instantly. This is something that you could use before you put on your serums or after your serums, but before a moisturizer, and this will add that extra plumpness. Or if you want to be really extra, and remember, you have to use hyaluronic acid on damp skin. If you don't want to do it with tap water, you could use something like this and then put this on. So either way, this is just basically sterilized healing mineral water in a can, and it really does make a difference. And if you want to be really budget friendly, just use your tap water, as long as it doesn't have a bunch of crazy crazy stuff in it. So that's how you can add in extra hydrating products if you feel like your skin looks like a dried up raisin. And can you layer? Sure, you could. If you want to be really extra and have a longer routine, you could put your spray water on first, then you could put your ordinary alpha arbutin hyaluronic acid, then you could put your Dermalect barrier repair serum. You could layer as many hydrating essences, serums, products. In fact, I think the Korean 10-step skincare routine, they'll layer like 10 different essences, which I've done that before in the past. And it's an extreme, exaggerative, lengthy type routine, layering them 10 different times, but you really can see a difference. Or I just make it easy and I'll spray my face and then put a little of this on, and sometimes I'll spray my face again and then put a little more. You can tweak your routine to what fits your skin type the best. But again, keep in mind, if you're layering a ton of products and then you start having irritation, you're not gonna know what product is causing it. So that's why I say, let's always go back to the basics and use those simple 2, 3, 4 step skincare routine, the basic brownie or skincare recipe. All right, the next skin issue. Perhaps you just have the driest skin, not necessarily dehydrated, we just talked about that, but say your skin is just so dry and you feel like you can hydrate it all day long, or you use this Vanicream moisturizer and you're like, no, my skin is dry as the Sahara Desert. I need something that is thicker, that's richer, that's really going to lock in those serums and all of those hydrating ingredients. Perhaps this is too lightweight for your skin. You don't have to use this. Use whatever you love best. But on those days where I feel like, man, my skin just needs some intense moisturizer, this is one of my all-time favorites from the brand 𝑽𝑰𝑫𝑬𝑺. It comes in like 3 different sizes. This is their 𝑐𝑗𝑠. And this, it's the same thing as this healing mineral water. This is a very healing cream. Not only do I use this, let me just show you how thick and rich it is. And you only need like a pea size, maybe a marble size. Do you see how thick and rich this is? Like, this is not going anywhere. I did a video comparing this to the super expensive La Mer cream. I saw a dermatologist that was sharing that they're pretty much dupes, not necessarily the same ingredients, but they pretty much do the same thing, but this is better. But this product is not just a super rich, thick product that can seal all of your products in and really make a difference in if you have really dry skin. But if you have sensitive skin, say you just had a peel, or say you are using this, or just say whatever, you did put too many products on and now your skin's irritated, or if you're like me and you're accident prone and you bump into things or whatever, I walk and I scrape my leg on something, this is like a healing cream. I don't use Neosporin, anything like that. You could use Vaseline, but for me, this has properties in it that actually will heal my skin. You can read different reviews. Women said that they use this on their baby's diaper rash. Doctors prescribed all different kinds of, ointments and lotions and potions, and they said finally they read online to try this and they're like, oh my gosh, the diaper rash was gone, or some crazy skin rash their husband had and the doctor prescribed all these expensive creams, nothing worked, and then they tried 𝑽𝑰𝑫𝑬𝑺 and they're like, it was gone. This is kind of like a first aid kit in a bottle, but I also love it in the evening. Rarely I'll use it during the day, but I love it in the evening after I finished all of my skincare, and then I just kind of seal it in with this thick, rich, healing moisturizer. And again, there's tons of products on the market, but I just want to give you some different examples just to kind of get you started on your search for your perfect skincare routine. All right, let's talk about our neck. If you say, oh my gosh, I need something extra on my neck because just a regular Vanicream moisturizer is not going to cut it on my neck. Perhaps you've neglected your neck and you only stop right here when you do your skincare. For me, I bring everything down my neck, my chest, and I try to do the backs of my hands as well. But if you want something specific for the neck, this is also by Dermalect. This is my all-time favorite neck cream. I've tried neck creams that are $300 and I'm like, I always go back to this one. A lot of neck creams, they're nice and firming and you think, oh, these are gonna work magic on my neck. But when they have that many firming ingredients, the skin on the neck, it still kind of stays dry and crepey. This one not only hydrates the skin, but it also will firm and moisturize the skin, but then it also has a gentle amount of acid in it that will also help kind of get rid of any flakies on the neck. I like to pair the two of these. I'll put this on my neck first, just a couple drops, and then I'll layer this over top, and oh my goodness, if you think this looks amazing on your face, try this combination on your neck. You're gonna look in the mirror, you won't see all that icky crepiness, your neck is gonna start to firm up, you're gonna have all that hydration. Instead of it looking all wrinkly and crinkly, it plumps up like a grape, but then it also stays super moisturized. You have that beautiful glow on your neck and your chest. Now recently I've been testing out other neck products and oh my gosh, I'm not having results with them. So I might even just give up testing the other products and then go right back to this because I love how my neck skin looks with this. All right, now if you say, but Sherry, I'm 40, 50, 60 years old. If you're 20 or 30, skip to the next product. You do not need what I'm about to share. But if you're of the more mature age and you're like, I just don't like how my skin is looking, it's just, I've tried all these other products and it's just missing something, and you feel like your skin is just kind of looking not very firm, and you want something that, for me, worked within a couple weeks. And I think on their website it says that people say that they look 6 or 10 years younger within, I don't know, 10, 12 weeks of using it. When I first used this product, I didn't really pay attention to the results. And then one day I walked by a mirror and I saw like kind of, you know, my little side profile, and I had to take a double take because I was like, oh my gosh, my jawline looks really firm. In fact, I even started having people, after I started using this one product, that's all I had changed in my routine, I started having people, family, friends, they would say, oh my gosh, your skin, it looks kind of filtered when they would see me in person. And this is the product. This is ridiculously expensive, so I'm not trying to encourage you to buy it if it's not in your budget. This is by the brand SkinMedica. This is their TNS Advanced Serum. This is a growth factor serum. It's got 2 different products in it. One side is all of their beautiful antioxidants, and then the other side has the growth factors in it. This is such a lightweight, beautiful, luxurious serum that when you put just one pump, you don't need multiple pumps, one pump, blend it all down your face, neck, and chest. I'll just use it on my hands. In 2 weeks, I started seeing results with this. It's an expensive product. This is why I save my money on cleansers and moisturizers, because I want to be able to buy this. I don't like running out of this. And of course, I only buy it on a sale. The results, in my opinion, this is the Mac Daddy, the OG of all growth factor serums. And it really makes a difference in firming and making the skin look a lot younger than what we're noticing in the mirror. Now, if you're like, that is so expensive, there's just no way I could buy it, I get it. I totally get it. They also have one that is, this is like one of the original ones. This is their TNS Recovery Complex. This is basically what is on one half of this bottle. Again, there's 2 different serums in here. This, if you just want the straight up growth factors and you don't want to deal with the other antioxidants, because maybe you have a great antioxidant serum or, you know, a great vitamin C serum. When you use this, I love using it because it makes my face, right after I use it, one little pump. This one's red. This is like their original one. Remember, the original one had this on one side and then the antioxidants on the other, and then they've revised it and turned it into their advanced serum. It has a strange scent to it because they did add fragrance. This one is fragrance free, but as much as I don't love leave-on fragrance products, I don't even mind it in this because the scent fades right away. But this will leave your skin looking so glowy instantly. One pump is more than enough for my face, my neck, and I even try to bring it down my chest. I pretty much get the same results in this that I do in this, and this is a lot less expensive than this one. So either one, to me, they both work great. This one's just got that little extra of ingredients, a little more luxurious, and this one doesn't have a scent. Now, if you say you do not want to use something like this, but you still want something that is a growth factor that will still help with anti-aging, this is a product from The Ordinary. They just came out with their growth factor serum. This is not what a growth factor serum is, because this is from, I think, plants. We're not a plant. Plant cells are not going to make our skin cells do what this will do. But this is actually a lovely serum. It's literally like water. It is super, super thin. What I notice with this serum, I don't notice firming or anything like that. I notice a lot of firming with this. But with this, I notice a lot of hydration. So if you like getting your growth factors from plants, this would be a great product just to add that extra hydration to your skin, and it's super inexpensive. Again, creating real quality growth factors, they are pricey. It's not like a cheap thing to do. So of course, The Ordinary is not going to be able to come out with a dupe for this because it's expensive to make as it is. But this is a nice alternative if you just want something that's hydrating. But for me, to be honest, the Ordinary's alpha arbutin hyaluronic acid, I like this better because this is what it's supposed to do. It's a hydrator and it can help with dark spots. But I'm not saying this is a bad product. It's an alternative. I'm trying to help give you different alternatives, but these are absolutely 100% not dupes. They're not the same in any way. And now when to layer a product like this, a growth factor serum, is really important because the molecule of a growth factor is a lot larger. So we don't want to have all of our skincare on and then put this on because you're probably just wasting your money. So when I am using my growth factor serum, I will always, I don't care what other products I'm using, I will always use it immediately right after I've cleansed my face and I've patted my skin dry. I'm not putting on my vitamin C serum first. I'm not putting on my retinol first. I'm not putting a moisturizer first. If I'm using a hydrating essence or toner, I'm not even putting that on my face first. I will put this only on super clean, freshly washed skin. If you're confused with layering your products, say you have 3 or 4 different serums, which again, I don't recommend you using a ton of different serums all in one routine, but if you choose to, just layer the one thinnest to thickest first, or layer whichever one you really want to penetrate into your skin first. Now let's talk about eye creams, and I'm gonna share with you my all-time favorite eye cream. And it might surprise you what my favorite is. Like I said in our basic recipe of skincare, I just use my favorite, inexpensive, affordable drugstore moisturizer under my eyes. But perhaps you are like me, and I actually like a little bit longer skincare routine when I have the time, and I do like to use a separate product that really focuses on my under eye area. So my absolute all-time favorite eye cream is this one from the brand Medic 8. And the reason why, it's the same brand that makes my all-time favorite retinaldehyde. The reason why is because this isn't just a basic type of moisturizing eye cream. That's why I say most people don't really need a separate eye cream, because most eye creams are just a smaller version of this, and they are just in a cute little bottle. And so why waste money on an eye cream that does what a moisturizer can do? But this does something that a moisturizer can't do. This actually has active ingredients like the retinaldehyde that's in here. And you might say, well, then why don't I just use the retinaldehyde that's in here under my eyes? You can, and then put your moisturizer over top. But if you want to be extra and you want that super special eye cream that is kind of like this and this all in one and goes a little bit further to really focus on that delicate eye area, this one from Medic 8 has the highest strength of vitamin A in an eye cream that I've ever found on the market. It's a beautiful eye cream. This will add a lot of hydration and moisture also to the eyes. This is not going to hydrate and moisturize the under eye area. That's why I say make sure you put your moisturizer over top. But if you want just an eye cream, it's like bouncy, fluffy, it's very soft and silky, and it is meant for the delicate under eye area. And I also bring it up above my eyes to help with crepiness. If you're doing your eyeshadow and you're like, man, my skin right up here, not right by your eyeball, but up here, if you feel like it's just getting loose and crepey and you want something that's gonna help with it, and using this would be, oh my gosh, an absolute nightmare on your eyelids. And even using this could be a little too much. This was created for the delicate skin around the eyes. Not only am I getting those beautiful, silky, softening, plumping, hydrating, moisturizing ingredients, I'm also getting something that's actually going to change my skin with the high strength retinaldehyde that's in here. So that is why this is my all-time favorite eye cream, because it actually does something. It's not just a pretty, fluffy eye cream that just feels nice. This not only feels nice, but it actually does something. Really quickly, perhaps you're dealing with acne. Now, I could do a whole different skincare routine on different products that work great for acne. If you want that, I know most people my age don't deal with acne. I do still. If you do want a separate routine for acne, just leave me a comment down below and I'm more than happy to share with you a more specific skincare routine to acne. But maybe you get a pimple or two every now and then and you're like, do I put toothpaste on it? Like, what am I supposed to do? Please don't ever put toothpaste on a pimple. Just use something like this. These are my favorite. These are Acne Spot Dots by Peach and Lily. What these are is these are just kind of like little stickers, but they're hydrocolloid. These are basically little stickers. Can you see what they look like on this little sheet? All different sizes. But what you do, especially if you're like, I feel something under my skin and you feel like perhaps a pimple might be growing, after you cleanse your skin, just put one of these on. Sometimes I'll have to take a dry Q-tip and just kind of wipe off a little bit of the skincare after it's sat there for a little bit. And then I just put this on, go to bed. I'll wake up the next day, and where I thought that pimple was starting to form, it's pretty much completely gone. Now, if I didn't catch it when it's starting to form and say it already made its way, I still will use one of these. This will not only help it to dissolve and not become some crazy pimple, but if say you have picked at a pimple, which you know we all have done that before, this will prevent you from putting your grimy little fingers all over that, rubbing it or touching it during the day. And if it's got that dry flaky skin on it, just stick one of these on, and it helps to retain that moisture underneath, and it will help it to heal so much faster. All right, I know I said this is a super long video. Hopefully I am covering every little different skin issue you might deal with and how to layer these products into your routine. Oh, and by the way, how I put on my eye cream in my skincare routine, I usually just do it right before my moisturizer step. Say you deal with melasma, hyperpigmentation, dark spots like what I do. I've had melasma since I was, 28 years old. And I like to tweak my routine, my basic routine, and I do like to use something that is going to help prevent this melasma from getting darker. Now, I have other routines where I share all of the different products that I would layer, because there's a lot of different ingredients that you might want to layer if your melasma is really bad. But again, talk to your dermatologist to know what's best for you. But for me, in my basic skincare routine, this is a product that I like to use right before I use my vitamin C serum. If you don't have melasma or dark spots, you don't need to add this into your routine. But if you are really wanting something to kind of kickstart and help with your spots, maybe adding something like this before your vitamin C or along with your other melasma hyperpigmentation type ingredients. This is super concentrated. It's a nice potent ingredient, and this has studies that show that it can help reduce melasma, hyperpigmentation, and dark spots. So I like to add this in my routine. It's a beautiful antioxidant serum, layers amazingly with all other products. Again, if you're looking for more details on melasma, what causes melasma, the difference between melasma, hyperpigmentation, and dark spots, I have many other videos that go in great detail, things that I would never ever do or put on my face with melasma. So if you're looking for those videos, I will try to remember to link them, but if you can't find them, just leave me a comment and then I can share those with you. Let's talk about the eyes again one more time, because there is a product that I've already purchased it a second time. That's how much I love this. I've shared this multiple times, but mainly I share this of how to make my concealer look beautiful every single day. This is super inexpensive. This is an oil for the under eyes. This would not replace my eye cream or any moisturizer, but I like to use this in addition. This is a coffee eye lift serum. This is a beautiful oil. I only use 1 or 2 drops. That's how concentrated and amazing this product is. I just put a little bit under my eyes, and what I do is I just kind of let this soak in and marinate after I've done my skincare, when I'm doing my makeup. And then when it comes time to put my concealer on, the combination of using, whatever moisturizer I use under my eyes for the day, when I add this to it, not only the ingredients are just fabulous for helping to brighten that under eye area, not hydrating, because oils don't hydrate, they nourish, they soften, but the combination of these two under my eyes, it makes my under eye skin prepared for when I put on concealer. Everybody who has left me a message saying that they bought this, they're like, oh my gosh, this will last me forever, and they love how it makes their concealer look. So this is something else I do like to add into my skincare routine, because I'm 53 years old and sometimes my under eyes just need a little extra love. And speaking of face oils, I know many gals my age or older love oils. Remember, oils do not hydrate. They don't add water to your skin, and they don't really moisturize, even though it kind of feels like they are. They're more nourishing and softening to the skin. This is my favorite face oil. This is by the brand Mad Hippie. This isn't just an oil, this is an antioxidant face oil. This, I mean, honestly, when I first tried it, I thought, where has this been all my life? This is not like your average face oil that leaves a greasy film on the skin and doesn't really do much. This has a nice light scent, but I don't think it's added fragrance. It's just the natural ingredients in it. But this is such a thin oil. It's not like a castor oil that leaves a thick, greasy layer on the skin. It soaks into the skin really quickly. I'll just put a little here. Sometimes I just like to use it in place of a highlighter, honestly. I like to do it before I put on my sunscreen, or I'll do it at night after I've finished my skincare, and I just put a few drops of this on, press it in, or sometimes during the day before I'm gonna touch up my sunscreen, if I feel like I look in the mirror and my skin just looks kind of dull, I'll put 1 drop of this on my fingers, rub it together, and I will put this right over top of my makeup, and it almost looks like a really pretty highlighter. It just gives you that really beautiful, juicy, natural kind of glow from within. Remember, I have normal to oily skin, but I'm very acne prone, so I'm very particular about what oils I use. There are a list of oils I would never put on my face, but the oils that are in here do not cause me any acne whatsoever. It's a beautiful, elegant oil. If they put this in different packaging and charged $300 for it, I guarantee you people would rave about it. It's that impressive of a face oil. 2 products left, and then hopefully I've covered every type of ingredient or product that you possibly might want to add or layer into your skincare routine. One other product, if you're dealing with a lot of wrinkles around your mouth, this whole area here, and you feel like your retinols aren't doing the trick, you feel like your moisturizers and all the other products that you've used in your basic routine aren't working, this is a product you could add in addition to your basic skincare routine by the brand Dermatologist. This is their Smooth Upper Lip Peri-Oral Anti-Aging Treatment. And I'll just put some on now to show you. This one's pretty much empty. I already bought a backup. And this just looks like a cream. You can rub it all the way in, but at night, I'll go to bed just looking like this, because who cares? At night, I like a nice thick layer of it. But when I first tried this, I bought it, I don't know, a couple years ago, and I didn't like it because I tried it for a month and didn't see any results. And then also, I didn't have as many little wrinkles trying to grow there back then. But now I've been using it, and I try to use it almost every day, sometimes twice a day. This is actually their #1 seller at the brand Dermatologist. I would have thought this was their #1 because it's the best serum ever, but this is actually their top seller, which I just recently learned that. And this has some really impressive reviews. Now for me, the results aren't instant. It's not something that everyone's gonna say, oh my gosh, you must have had a facelift. It's not that type of product. But what it does is it gradually makes a difference. And I have just a couple little wrinkles trying to form, and I've got this one right here that I noticed that when I use this, it definitely softens that wrinkle up, and it does make a difference around my mouth area. So if this area is your issue and you want to show it a little extra love and on top of your basic routine, this might be a product that you want to look into. And finally, I like to have long, beautiful, healthy eyelashes. Now, you can't see what they look like now because I have really light eyelashes naturally. My natural hair color, well, my natural hair color is gray now, but my natural hair color growing up was like this color here and even a little bit lighter. So my lashes are quite light, but when I put on mascara, you can really tell. But I used to use a lash serum called Revitalash and Grande Lash that they really made my lashes, it really made my lashes long, but I have since discovered that those type of lash serums are terrible for the skin around our eyes. Doctors were showing that their patients, this area right here, they were starting to look really hollowed out and just older, and every single person that used those type of lash serums that had an ingredient called prostaglandins in it, that's what was causing this issue with their eyes. And I was noticing that my eye area was looking a lot more hollow. Now I do have these little hollows under my eyes, and I guess some people go get fillers for that, but I don't want to. I do notice that my eyes look a lot better because I have not used Revitalash in over a year. I use this one from the brand Dermatologist. This has no prostaglandins in it. I like to use this at night. Sometimes I use it during the day, but really just using it once at night makes a huge difference for me. It's a more natural type product. It doesn't have that harmful ingredient. It does take slower than Revitalash for me, but wow, after a few months, depending on your growth cycle of your lashes, my lashes get super long, they're super healthy. Not only am I still getting the same super long, beautiful lashes, but with Revitalash, I would have like rogue lashes going here or wherever. They would just go wherever they wanted, and my lashes fell out a lot with Revitalash. My lashes hardly ever fall out with this. They're super healthy. They just look really pretty and full and kind of like fluttery. I just think this is a fantastic product. If you did watch this video to the end, thank you very much. I really appreciate you, and I hope you have the best day ever.